Douglas Ducote, an American patriot by the grace of God, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from enemies foreign and especially domestic.
Hello, American Patriots, and welcome to the Patriot Panel. I'm very blessed and honored to be tonight's host, hosting some great American Patriot YouTubers. Folks, please welcome American Joe, Drone Tech Politics, Mike from the Patriot Hour, SJG Perspective, and Normal American with Robert Norrell. How are you guys doing?
Great. Good.
Great.
Excellent. For those of you tuning in for the first time, we're going to rotate this out to, we've started actually a few weeks back. Joe started this. He thought it was a great idea. It would help me grow out my beard more. So we're moving forward with it because I do want to grow out my beard more. And each week, Monday, it'll be someone else's turn. Who's next, American Joe, for next Monday? Do you know?
I think it restarts back. So if I'm not mistaken, have we been on Robert's page yet or SJG's page yet?
No, but we're trying to grow our subscribers. So
yeah, we'd have
it's weird because we're missing Brandon and Brad both stepped out. So I think it goes back to my channel next week. I'm not sure.
Okay, very cool.
We'll figure it out.
What we'll be doing is we'll be putting out everybody will put out a video the day of, telling you whose channel to go to, where to be at, and basically we just spend the hour talking about what's happening in America, across the globe, and so forth. I'm going to take just a few minutes for everybody just to introduce yourself to my audience. So if we start off with American Joe.
Well, hello, Patriots. I'm glad to be here. I'm just an average American Joe. That's why my channel's named American Joe. My mama didn't name me that. But I just like to say what's on my mind. I like to talk politics. I support President Trump. I am a straight, white, conservative Christian. And, yeah, come on over to my channel, subscribe. I'd appreciate that. YouTube's got the hooks in me right now. They won't let my channel grow. They're making my channel actually shrink. So I would very much appreciate anyone new coming over and hitting that subscribe button because they're not letting the truth get out. That's a fact. So thanks for having me here, Doug. I appreciate it.
Very true. And Drone Tech, you want to go next?
Yeah, I do a channel that's basically just about calling out media bias and making a case that the media shouldn't be trusted and ultimately you should just turn off your TV. I do a lot of videos that, harken back to old, the media from the Bush era and the Obama era and can just really show that they're very hypocritical. And like Joe, I'm having the same kind of problems. It's like I never get subscribers. Nobody's seeing my footage and I'm just losing them. So I'm having the same kind of problem, except for when I'm on this stream. I seem to gain subs during this. So that's good. And so I really appreciate the opportunity to stream with you guys and talk on these subjects.
Very cool. Thank you. How about Mike? Go ahead.
All right. Hey, I'm Mike from the Patriot Hour. Same thing, kind of got into this February of 18. Been digging for 18, 20 years, but wanted to bring it to a channel. Through that, I met American Joe. Through that, met Doug. And then now I'm on this panel with a bunch of great patriots. So it's great to be here. Same thing, we dig into breaking stories. I cover things all the way back. I feel a huge thing like I did today. One of my biggest areas is 1871. I believe our Constitution went offline, a fraction of it. And to understand a lot of the issues that are going on today, it stems from that. I mean, even the people in office, it's almost like it's all fruit of the poisonous tree from that point on. It's just, it's really actually upsets me whenever I do the videos for a few days. It really strikes me. I always seem to learn a little something new or put something else together. But anyway, think for yourself, connect your own dots. We all bring you guys, out there, try to bring you different things, what we all cover, and collectively, we're just trying to get to the bottom of the truth. So thanks for having me here.
Very cool. SJG.
Hey, so I thank you for having me on this and inviting me. I started my channel a little over a year ago. got connected with American Joe, well, Drone Tech first, and then American Joe, and then through that met Robert, and then Mike and Douglas. My channel, I'll read news clips of the day. I do live stream clips and just kind of live stream, and I'll do news clips of the day. I focus a lot on, not a lot, but a good portion of it is like on cultural problems, this postmodernism stuff, this cultural Marxism stuff, this LGBTQ agenda, and just our PC culture that we live in. I also am, a pseudo musician, and so I have fun. I like to make people laugh, and so I do parodies. I've done some parodies on Ice Ice Baby for the immigration control, and I've done them on Antifa and on Uncle Joe and on CNN, and so I like to do some parodies. I haven't done any for a while, but yeah, so that's what I do. And I just had to do this channel because the PC world we were living in was just about ready to make my head explode, and so I needed to have an outlet. So that's what I do.
Very cool. Robert.
All right. Last but not least, I'm hoping. I'm Robert Knorr. I'm someone who had the great fortune. I've grown up and lived in rural Pennsylvania my whole life. The people that I respect most in this world are people that work with their hands, blue-collar Americans. Unfortunately, I suck at all that stuff. So as I grew up, all the people I love, I went off to university. I was one of the better debaters in the country. And I realized because I could talk and be an advocate for these people I love, where is the voice for the average normal American right now? You don't see it in the mainstream media. You don't see it in the entertainment industry. So I thought one of the things I could do to give back was to try to be a voice for normal Americans. So that's what I try to do. I ran for Congress in a special election in 2019, did not win, as you may have guessed, but I'm going to be running in 2022 as well. And I'm going to keep doing my channel and keep growing it thanks to the great panel here that's helped me out. And I get to work with such great people. I specialize, I would say, in trying to talk about corruption that we see in our government at the highest level through things like the Russia collusion hoax, the impeachment hoax, and things like that. I love to bring people on and have debates with people that disagree with me. I think it's important to talk to people that disagree. And yeah, I just have a lot of fun. And I think that what's going on with this panel is so important because independent content creators are the wave of the future. If we could take away the gatekeeper status of the establishment's mainstream media, they will start to tumble one after the other.
Amen. Well said, brother. So, folks, go to their channels. Please subscribe, ring the bell, and show them the love. We're going to talk about a few things tonight, but first, let me just mention, for those of you who haven't heard, Rush Limbaugh came out today and told the world that he has advanced lung cancer. I know a lot of people that have been dealing, I know friends right now that are dealing with lung cancer or different types of cancers, and I have lost some friends recently to cancer. So our thoughts and prayers go out to Rush and his family. Okay, so I want to talk about and share with the panel, see what everybody's thoughts are on the fact that the Republicans under Mitch McConnell decided to move the impeachment vote, yes or no, to Wednesday, the day after Trump has his State of the Union address, which is tomorrow. And when he mentioned this last week, personally, I thought, what the hell? Why would you not want the guy to go into the State of the Union with this all behind him now, to stand in front of Nancy Pelosi and go, but so what do y'all think on that? Do you think this is still some of the deep swamp left with Mitch McConnell pulling some kind of stunt like that? How about you, Joe? What do you think?
Well, I've been wondering about this because, Chucky Schumer went into a backroom deal, a little closed door meeting with these yahoos. And I thought to myself, well, why would Mitch McConnell be in a backroom meeting with any Democrat? They got nothing to bargain with. They've got no chips that we're aware of. Nothing. Zero that we're aware of in the public sphere as to what they're bargaining with to get this to happen after the State of the Union. This only benefits the Democrats. Only benefits, and it gives them a few more days for more backroom deals and backroom talks to try to get one or two people to flip their vote if possible. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the vote's already set to acquittal. But, Trump is going to go out there tomorrow night. I'm going to cover it live. I'm sure most of you are going to cover some portion of it live or record it. I don't know. But he's going to go out there and he's going to say, hey, the acquittal vote's tomorrow, folks. It's a done deal. And I think you should say it. I think you should go out there and say it. And I don't know what Mitch McConnell's up to. Moscow Mitch, I don't know what he's up to. I never trusted the guy, have never trusted him, never will trust him. And they're all scumbags. They're all scumbag politicians who have been in there far too long. I don't trust any of them. So who knows? I can't tell you what background or backroom deal is happening, but I don't like it.
Mm. Yeah, I'll jump in here for oh, go ahead. Well, I just real quick just want to say about Rush. I hope the best for him. My grandma got me onto him when I was like a 16-year-old, and I started out hating him, and just eventually he won me over, and I'm here today. But I think the whole thing's really weird. I doubt we can speculate much on why it's happening, because it's like you said, it's a bunch of backroom stuff. But I think we can definitely count on like some sort of a protest or some sort of grandstanding. Maybe they all walk out. I don't know, something. I'm even wondering if Trump should even do it, personally.
Do what? The State of the Union?
I think you should.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like a trap almost. They're going to do something. There's already Democrats, 3 of them, I think, that are boycotting it. My guess is they'll do something similar to when Eric Holder, when they were trying to hold him in contempt and all the Democrats walked out and the media applauded it and drooled all over it. They'll do the same thing, I bet. That's my prediction.
Hmm. Well, it's so funny because they've been grandstanding on this whole thing from the beginning when the House needed to rush this because it was so important to get him out of office. And then Nancy Pelosi sits on it and won't send the articles of impeachment over forever. So it was just they're trying to stretch this thing out as long as they can. And yeah, it does make you wonder why old Mitchie boy is talking with them in the back room, and then they postpone this because it's things that make you go and raise your eyebrows a little bit. But knowing Trump, man, he's going to go out there and he's going to lay it on him if he does do it. Like I'm sure he will. He's going to lay it on him, and I think he should. He's not going to be PC. He's never been PC. He's not going to start right now. He's going to flaunt his political capital, and anybody who's been following this knows this is just is all a political show. It's a dog and pony show. That's all it is. I got into a little bit of a debate with one of my coworkers today, and the nice part is we left shaking hands, but he was like, well, how can you think that he shouldn't be impeached? I mean, and he's giving me all these examples, and I'm just like, what would Robert Knorr say right now? What would Robert Knorr say? And I just laid it back on him, and it is simply to divide the country. That is what this whole thing is about. And we know that, and it's sad, but it's soon to come to pass. But they're never going to let it go anyways. They're going to hold on to this thing all the way up into the election. We know that.
Well, you know what? That's great. So I do want to hear from Robert Knorr. What do you say, Robert?
Yeah, I agree almost entirely, Joe. I think the important thing, I don't know specifically McConnell's thinking, but I don't trust him. I've been saying all along that he falsely try to fall into this left-right paradigm like it's Republicans versus Democrats, but that's not exactly what's going on. It's an establishment, those that are in the establishment. McConnell, to me, is a leader of the establishment. Now, he's not as blatant as your Romneys, Adkowskis, your Susan Collins, your Jeff Flakes, your McCains. He falls into that trap. I've been all along. The fact Murkowski, Alexander, Collins, etc., decided to vote against Witt, we should still hold them account and vote them. They're in your district. Do whatever you can. Run against them personally. Support someone running against these people. Because the possible benefit this has is to allow more news stories to break, more grandstanding from the Democrats. Because Trump knocked the stadium out of the park last year, and he will do so again because he has great things to talk about that are in this country. So what the Democrats want to do is to use this whole Russia and Ukraine impeachment to distract America. They know will be good news that Trump's telling them at the State of the Union. Shame on Mitch McConnell for allowing this to be a stain. I kind of agree a little bit. I think Trump maybe should just say, you know what, we'll postpone it till next week then, so that he can walk on stage. That nonsense is done. It's over with. The Democrats are trying to hide the good news country from you, and that's why you should vote for Republican coming up.
Yeah, I agree. And it's almost like they, like Mitch did it on purpose because all it does is benefit the Democrats, period. Mike, what's your take on this? Do you think that that there's some kind of backroom deal going on with Mitch that we don't know about?
Well, we know the Democrats like to work in the basements and secretly in back rooms already. So I don't know if Mitch joined them, but I agree with all of you guys had great points. They didn't want to, they said there was no time for witnesses, which would have took one more day than the 2 days they stalled. Man, hold on here. Sorry. I have somebody keep calling in. They must be watching the show thinking I'm taking the calls. So witnesses, no time, but we just spent 2 more extra days listening to everybody in the Senate talk about why we couldn't have the witnesses. I don't think we really needed them either. I agree with the Trump's lawyers on that. We didn't need the any more witnesses. They're saying, they had all the evidence they needed, but they were yet screaming for the witnesses. It didn't really make sense. If you already put out everything, why would you need witnesses? So it was a lot of games. I don't know what advantage this gives waiting till Wednesday. With Joe, I think, or Doug there by tomorrow night going up, he should have been able to have it behind him. I think would be best. So
did anybody here supposedly, and I've looked for it and I haven't been able to find it yet, but I've had numerous people tell me now, they've mentioned this in text messages and comments on my videos, that Nancy Pelosi put out that if Trump is not impeached, removed by the Senate, that she's stepping down. Anybody hear anything on that?
I heard they're going forward more, like it wasn't over. I heard it was
Not a threat.
This won't be over. We'll be part two.
Promise.
I didn't hear that.
Now you're just trying to get me all excited, Doug. Stop it.
Yeah.
I swear.
Maybe she'll move to Canada.
I can't find it.
Hopefully she'll move to Canada.
Let me look around.
Something, I'll jump in and say something if we're just waiting here. One thing I will say that's kind of disturbing that I've noticed, and it's a media thing, of course. There's this narrative now growing, and it started a long time ago, really, but that this is the end of democracy. Have you all seen that? Like, oh, this is it. Yeah. This is the end. Bill Maher and The View and all not just the crazies. I mean, even the people in the media are saying almost that like Trump supporters are traitors. And I just, I just think of what would happen if it was coming from our side, this insanity. I mean, it would be a national uproar. But
we'd all be racist.
I thought 2016 was the end of democracy.
Right,
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they said that questioning election results was a threat to democracy, and that's all they've done. So it's like these people are idiots.
I actually got somebody commented and said that this panel we're doing is racist because we're all white people. And I thought, well, wait a minute. I did my DNA through the ancestry.com, and it came back that I actually am 1% African American, and that's true. I'm not making this up. I am 1% African American. So for the person that said we're all a bunch of racists, I'm offended.
I want to be careful. I got a little bit of Indian. I got some Indian, but
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that DNA stuff. I don't do that. I don't trust the government that much to give them my DNA, man. There's no way.
Well, I did this like 10 years ago when it first came out. I didn't think about it and thought, well, of course, I don't do anything wrong. So
they got.
I didn't think
one way or the other anyway.
That's just the thing, Douglas. I know you don't do anything wrong, but they're going to take your DNA and they're going to put it on some dead body and they're going to frame your butt up, man. That's what they're going to end up doing.
Yeah. Wouldn't doubt that happening one bit.
All three of you up at the top panel, prior military, and then myself, all of our urine is stored in New York somewhere for some reason. A lot of the urine that you had throughout the years in the service, them random tests, they keep it. I don't know why.
No. When I left in 1995, when I ended my tour in 1995, they took my DNA. They required it, and it wasn't an option. It was an order. And they were doing that with everybody that got out in 1995. I don't know if that happened to you, Doug, but when I got out, it was a requirement, and I was not very happy about it.
Do you remember, Joe, when we came back from Desert Storm and they told us that we weren't allowed to donate blood for, I don't know, something like 5 or 6 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Sure.
I remember these giant horse pills they tried to give us and tell us it was a new pill they developed for chemical biological attacks to protect us. Giant round white tablets that didn't have any markings on them of any kind. I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm going to take that. No,
I went through all the anthrax,
all the
anthrax
uranium
shots.
or what?
Yeah. Which kind of brings us up to the next thing I wanted to talk about, which is this coronavirus. You know, I'm making fun about it these days, which is probably going to be in my big fault when half of America dies all of a sudden from it. But, you know, I've been saying things like, you know, I don't drink Corona anyhow, so I don't have to worry about it. You know, I drink Blue Moon, you know, who leave it in Mexico, don't do the Corona. But
It's made in China. It won't last long.
yeah, but it's growing. I mean,
There's
like,
some
there's
hilarious
almost 1,000 people dead now in China.
Yeah.
And now it's actually
I wanted to speak to that for a second. So a couple nights ago, I put on my stream and somebody put in the chat that it was tied to HIV. And I was like, oh, that's some crazy conspiracy theorist and their theory. I'm not going to. So I Google it and there was some mainstream articles on it because Zero Hedge got taken. They have 650,000. You guys probably heard this news story, but Zero Hedge had 650,000 subscribers on Twitter. They posted. Yeah, they posted this article talking about how this coronavirus is very similar or has some HIV markers in it, and it was done by some Indian pastors, Indian scientists, right, that were checking these out and scientifically looking at the genomes or whatever on there. And they said, yeah, this is very similar to HIV and has some HIV markers in there. Well, Zero Hedge put that article out, and Twitter banned Zero Hedge on all of their 650 followers and said they were bullying or whatever, you know, like they were harassing people. The fact of the matter is, Zero Hedge doesn't post any replies. They don't bully people at all. They just whitewash that. And then other people were putting this article up on other sites, and they were all getting taken down. And so then it comes out that these HIV drugs are actually, some of these HIV drugs are being prescribed to treat the coronavirus. So it kind of makes you go, wow, what is going on? Because it doesn't make sense that we're in this much of a wall-to-wall coverage panic over a flu bug when the regular flu kills 80,000 people a year, and we're now up to a few hundred people that are dead, which is bad, right? And we're up to 20,000 people infected. But still, it's like, well, really, over a flu, we're that freaked out about this, and now it's considered now we just came out and labeled it a pandemic. Now it is a pandemic, a global pandemic. There's something we're not being told on this. There's something weird about this.
Well, and if you go to Zero Hedge right now, they have,
sorry, Robert, didn't mean to cut you off, buddy. I saw an article today about China refusing to let U.S. health inspectors or experts come over to assist in this. That right there tells me something very strange. I have only posted, I think, one video on this entire thing, and it was about this woman who put out a video, and it's in Chinese, but the closed caption is on the video. So she's basically saying that she's a nurse over there. It is way worse than they're letting people know, that there's hundreds of thousands of people that are infected, and way more than are being reported that are dead, and that nurses and hospital people are having to work 36, 48-hour shifts. They don't have enough staff. They're just at their wits' end, and they're not getting any more supplies from the government to help people, to test, to screen. I don't know if any of that's true, but a lot of what I see come out of China rings kind of weird in my head. Like, this is what I would expect from a communist nation trying to control a narrative and not letting the world know what's actually going on, because they don't want to show how weak they are right now in this moment. They want to show strength at all times and dominance in the world. And if this was to take out so many people and they were helpless to do anything about it, how would that look across the world? And what would that do to the financial markets if China collapses? in any kind of way. So,
well, look what it's already
yeah,
doing.
I mean, I don't think we're being told the truth for sure.
Did the stock market open back up for them today? It was supposed to.
I don't know.
Oh, it hasn't been open. It's like this is their new year over there, right? Like it was been closed, but I'll have to check that out. But yeah, they're
like
getting
HIV
to combat it. It says.
Yeah, no problem. I sent a link to everyone here in the VMix chat from Zero Hedge's article they have up now. It is unbelievable. I just did a video on it. Dr. Francis Boyle was the person who drafted the legislation in 1989 that was the premier bioterrorism legislation. I'll just read you the first paragraph of this article. In an explosive interview, Dr. Francis Boyle, who drafted the Biological Weapons Act, has given a detailed statement admitting that the 2019 Wuhan coronavirus is an offensive biological warfare weapon and that the World Health Organization already knows. If you read the article, he talks about how the lab that this was developed in, the BSL-4 lab in Wuhan, is actually a World Health Organization lab, and so that they, in conjunction with the Chinese government, have been covering up. Now, I don't know if this was an intentional act by the Chinese government or if it was just a mistake that it got out. Another doctor by the name of Nyquist has been writing a lot that I've been reading. You can also see at that link of this story that I linked. He talks about how the Chinese military has been planning on releasing pandemics to try to achieve geopolitical parity with the United States for quite some time. So I don't know what the truth is, but it's very troubling that the premier doctor who wrote the legislation against bioterrorism is saying this was developed in a World Health Organization lab. They know that it's a biological weapon and it's biological terrorism, but they're covering it up. And is it any surprise to anyone that either the U.S. government or the Chinese government or the World Health Organization, as they've shown over and over, will lie when it comes to your life being in jeopardy or making them look bad?
Right. Robert, what was the name of the professor you just named?
His name is Dr. Francis Boyle.
Okay. I got this yesterday, actually this morning. It was about 2 a.m. A friend of mine sent me this, and I haven't seen it anywhere else. It's from ABC Channel 10 out of Boston. And it says, Harvard professor charged with hiding ties to China released on a $1 million bond. His name is Charles Lieber, Lieber. He's a former chair of the chemistry and chemical biology department, allegedly agreed to conduct research, publish articles, apply for patents on behalf of China's Wuhan University, which is where this thing started, in exchange for $50,000 per month and $150,000 living expenses. So I guess the IRS found out that he was lying about this. He was questioned. He denied it, said he had nothing to do with China. They got to investigating and realized that he is completely involved with this. And now he has been arrested by our FBI, but released on bond right now. So that's some scary shit.
Yeah.
And it goes,
this chemical expert here is over there doing something with the same place where this all started.
Yeah.
And it goes along with also that's exactly what I thought of when I read this article. Here's a point that it gives in this article as well. It says, the third data point worth considering is the journal Great Game India's published a piece titled Coronavirus Bioweapon. The authors were clever enough to put a virology journal article together with news of a security breach by Chinese nationals at the Canadian P4 National Microbiology Lab in Winnipeg, where the novel coronavirus was allegedly stored with other lethal organisms. Last May, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police were called to investigate, and by late July, the Chinese were kicked out of the facility. The Chinese scientist Dr. Jingwo Kui was allegedly making trips between Winnipeg and Wuhan. Now, this is something we've known for quite some time, even outside of this pandemic, which is China's infiltrating our education system, both in the United States and in Canada. And part of that could be nefarious stuff just to kind of subvert American and Canadian values like free speech and other things like that. But part of it is things like this. They are actually getting our scientists to work in conjunction with all sorts of top secret projects that are going on in China. So now we have credible accusations of a university in Winnipeg having their faculty being involved with the Wuhan virus and someone at Harvard. I mean, it's really troubling that this isn't bigger.
Hey, can I play a little bit of that? So will this screw up our stream? Should I not play this? I got this article up. Should I not play it?
I don't know.
I haven't checked the audio out, so I don't know what it's like.
You can try to play.
Don't play much of it if you do.
Okay, I'll just play it.
Or Dustin, I said try it.
No audio. Your through audio isn't correct.
Is it coming through?
No audio.
Your audio output is wrong.
The audio's not coming through?
No.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so let me remind everybody, if you're if you want to call in, please do so. It's at the bottom of the screen. You can call the show at 408-638-0968. Put in the code 9949569953. And you can call into the show, ask any questions to any member of the panel or all of us, or just tell us how disgusted you are with everything that's happening right now. Another thing I want to bring up to everybody was that Fox News is reporting that Schiff has said that if Trump is acquitted, that they're going to go back after him with another impeachment.
Of course.
Oh my God!
That's right.
Since before the election. Confirmed.
We knew that. We knew this was going to happen.
It's like a never-ending saga with these.
They're hanging themselves, though. They're hanging themselves. This is going to motivate so many people to get out and to vote. I believe that. I believe, like, you know what? Have they not learned their lesson that this is going to completely backfire on them, and that all the lies they've been hiding, they're going to step on the wrong landmine and it's going to blow up in their face?
Yeah, I agree.
Look, it's just the only reason they're even able to keep doing it is because the media is in league with them. I mean, the Republicans can never do something like this. Just keep never-ending impeachment up against the president, starting literally in 2016, before the election. I mean, what can you do against that?
And making statements blatantly, just accusing everything he does as being something that's impeachable.
Right.
Remember, they filed articles 4 times, right? The first time, I can't remember what the first time was. The second time, there were legitimately articles drafted because he said "S-hole country." They literally said that go look Al Green. He filed impeachment articles over Trump saying "S-hole country." Then they filed impeachment articles over the press conference that Trump did with Putin, where Trump was like, yeah, I'm trying to work things out with Putin. They said, oh, Trump doesn't believe his own intel agencies. Thank goodness he doesn't, as we've seen with the FBI spying on him, etc. So, I mean, it's clear that they're going to do whatever they can to impeach. Look, I was just talking with Michael on the Patriot Hour here the other day. My prediction, the Federal Reserve is going to try to tank the economy come October to hurt his chances. You'll have about 15 women come out and say Trump raped them 40, 50 years ago, before the election. They'll pull out all of the stops. The impeachment garbage, quite simply, is them trying to criminalize investigating Democrat corruption. That's it. They're not going to stop. They're desperate because they know if their corruption's outed to the American people will be furious.
Yeah.
I agree.
So I agree.
Mike, let me ask you a question. Do you think that there's anything from your knowledge that the Republicans have as far as to be able to go back against them and say, look, talk about impeachment. You guys are actually on the floor of the House. I mean, the Senate, they already did it in the House, but the Senate blatantly lying about what happened when we already have seen the transcript.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to Trump's lawyers today wrap this up, and they're laying it out that just like the one expert Turley they had come on from Harvard, he's an expert, and even the one guy that they got now, who do they just pick up and we don't really like? He's a typical Democrat. Dershowitz. I was going to say Horowitz, but Dershowitz. My bad. But yeah, Dershowitz, even him, they're laying it out that the abuse of power would come from Congress not allowing Trump his due. I mean, anyone that wants to go to court, it might be lengthy. It might. I mean, I guess I was Clinton in the 90s. 2 years the Ken Starr thing went on before they brought it all. So it was a 2-year, and they knew that's what could happen with Trump. So they we don't got time. They made it political. Everything that they're screaming that Trump can't do, he shouldn't do, you're not allowed to do. I'm just baffled because we've seen it already from them. So
they're very calculated, man. They're like They're very calculating. They withheld calling John Bolton as a witness when they had it in the House. They had all the power to call him as a witness then. They didn't. They held off on that. And then they bring it to the Senate because they want to lay it at their feet. And they knew that the Republicans were never going to bite. And then they could just blame it and say, this is a farce thing. They had this whole thing planned out. This is a farce Senate trial. You can't have a trial without witnesses. They don't tell the public, listen, we've already called 17, 18, however many witnesses they've already called. You think they couldn't have called John Bolton? Of course they could have called John Bolton. They could have had him say whatever he wanted to say for hours. They could have hours of testimony of John Bolton when they walked into the Senate, and they chose not to because they're playing games. That's what they do. They're strategizing and they're playing games, and they are obstructing and interfering in an election. They've said it. They've openly said it. AOC came out in a video not long ago and said that whatever can bring the caucus together to an agreement to impeachment, that's what they're going to go with. And it looks like, well, Ukraine's going to be the thing that it is. They don't care what it is. They just don't want to fight him in 2020 because they're going to get destroyed. Destroyed.
Right. Can anyone?
These are the same
people.
people.
Tell me what abuse of power is?
Yeah. What is it?
Who knows?
Or obstruction of Congress?
It's so open-ended that, it could be whatever you want it to be.
Which ties into the coronavirus thing, by the way, because they've cried wolf on everything so often. If it's a real deal, will people even take it seriously? That's what's scary about that. But
that's a good point.
Well, when it comes to John Bolton, anybody that's followed John Bolton through the years would know that if he actually had something negative to say that was factual about Trump, he would already be in front of CNN and MSNBC spilling his guts. But he doesn't. So he's just hoping to, by not saying anything, if he doesn't get called and, subpoenaed, that it's going to help with his book sale.
Right.
So real quick, we got Edward Riggs from North Carolina on the phone. Holding would like to talk to us. How are you doing, Edward?
Excellent. My hat's off to you. Somebody quoted Q, I think it was, who reminds us that the enemy of democracy is ignorance. Those weren't his words, as my take of it. But to control a mind, all you have to do is control the information available to that mind. That's been a big headache. I'm a chemist, an engineer. I build things. I live on information, but it's got to be the right information. Back in the 90s, when Matt Drudge became available, I jumped on it as the only believable and satisfying source of information. These days, Drudge Report isn't what it used to be, and even Fox has become a
left-wing
questionable.
All of it.
So my hat's off to Douglas Ducote, Mike, and all the other people I haven't known until just now. You guys are so important.
Tuning in, and please join their channels.
Yeah, good.
Well, one of the doing what you're doing. I mean,
Go ahead, Robert.
I was just going to say real quick, keep in mind, there is no place to go except independent content creators to get the truth. The establishment controls all of the cultural institutions of power that shape the public narrative. So they control the mainstream media.
Yes.
If you don't want to watch the news and you just want to watch a movie, guess what? All of the people in Hollywood, they're pushing the establishment narrative. If you go to university, they're all pushing the establishment democratic narrative. If you get on social media, Twitter, Facebook, all the CEOs, they're pushing the establishment narrative, trying to censor people
Google.
like us.
Look at Google.
Exactly.
And that's what makes it even hard for us independent content creators, is that we have to go to Google or DuckDuckGo or these and try to search through all this stuff. And you have to really search, because we don't get it right all the time, but we're trying to present another side to it. And Google's controlling. They're rewriting history. They're censoring. They're saying what's all authoritative news, and it's insane to think the power these big tech companies have and what they're doing to the people. It is mind control. It absolutely is.
Oh yeah. I use Facebook sparingly and just to try to get a word out once in a while. And I've virtually stopped using Google with Facebook and Brave, with Bing. We have a couple of others. There's actually about that's my go-to. DuckDuckGo has been for over a year now. But there's about 50 usable search engines, well, semi-usable. It's quite a mix. Everything from Dogpile, which aggregates everything. Try wading through that.
Yeah.
I want to write that down.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Edward. We appreciate you watching us and calling in. And hey, man, have a blessed night, okay?
You guys, yes, keep on doing what you're doing. It is so important. We got to get the real news out to as many people as possible. And you're doing it.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Great.
Thank you.
So let me ask the panel a question. We've got some other people that are coming up here right now that are being screened. But in the meantime, it brings me to something that I find kind of curious. Let's start with Mike. How do you think it is that CNN and MSNBC are still actually able to stay on the air when they're just completely annihilated in the ratings by Fox News? I mean, literally, there's thousands of people watching them, but compared to the other ratings out there, like Nick at Night has more ratings than CNN does.
And probably better news.
Where do you think they're getting this from?
Well, I think it's because they're funded. I was going to say that to the caller. If you ever are suspicious.
Kenneth Nicely, and I'm from Virginia.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, okay. Welcome to the show. Didn't know you were there yet.
Hold that thought.
I'm from the Woodlands, Texas.
Glad to have you.
Very cool. How are you doing tonight, sir?
No, my first name is fine.
I don't think Dustin realizes the screening's coming to us. Yeah.
Let me text him.
I feel like the NSA.
Keep going, Mike. Keep going with your thought. You were on this.
From Ohio.
Yeah, Mike.
All right. Well,
BT5 from Ohio.
Maybe take your headphones off and then just tell us what you're saying, Mike.
Boy.
Over the top.
Dustin, the screening is coming through.
Yeah.
Our voice.
So what you said, CNN, how can they stay on? This is
my name is Earl, and I'm from Wheat Ridge, Colorado.
Can you hear us?
This is what you get when you do live stuff, folks.
Behind the scenes of the Douglas Ducote Show. This is how it works. They stay on because they're funded. If you're ever curious or worried, folks, and you're getting in, if you look behind a channel with a little bit of searching, you can find out if they're typically involved in a corporation. That means there's more than just them behind it. There's a group of people anyway, at least. And then with that group, typically you're going to have a narrative or an agenda. That's why I think all of us here are, we don't have the hands up, we're not puppets with a ventriloquist or whatever. We speak for what we do, which is our research, and try to bring it to you. So I think funding. Yeah. People point, like you said, there's an unlimited amount of fund. And even though the ads get scarce, but if you look at CNN and you do stop there, you see they got the big ads. The big companies are still there to the end, I think, because that's another.
I'm waiting for Soros' pockets to run dry.
Well, it's like somebody in the chat put up. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's like Operation Mockingbird. Like, control the narrative, control the, the propaganda that is fed out to us. Somebody put that up in the chat, and that's an interesting thing for people to go Google and read up on Operation Mockingbird. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and now we're going to go back to the phone lines. We have Kenneth from Virginia. How are you doing, sir? Kenneth from Virginia. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
How's it going, sir?
All right. How y'all doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
Excellent. Living the dream.
Well, I'd first like to, thank y'all for y'all's services. I really appreciate it. Joe, I'm glad to hear about your brother.
Thank you, sir.
I prayed, religiously here last night there for him.
I appreciate you, brother.
With the Democrats, I knew that there was major issues when it came to them. Me and my wife there was in a movie store, and there was a professor from a local college, and he was talking to the owner of this store, and he's sitting there talking about Democrats, Republicans, independents, and he said, he told his students, he said, and I quote, "Name me one good thing a Democrat has done for the United States in the last 100 years." He said no student could answer.
Yeah, that's a great question to ask liberal students because you're right, there is no answer to that.
It was just, I had to, jump on the computer and do some research, and I could not find a single thing. I mean, I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, independent, whatever. The thing that really gets under my skin is when they're sitting there at the podiums and they're sitting there pointing fingers at one another saying, well, he or she did this. And it's back and forth, back and forth. I don't care what they did. I'm more concerned of what are you going to do for the American people?
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's how a lot
devil's
of us
advocate.
are. Like, Trump's doing a great job, so who gives a damn what he did in his past? What were we going to say, Robert?
Exactly.
I was just going to say, be devil's advocate a little. Make sure you hold the Republicans to the same standard, because oftentimes we have people that get elected to Congress that promise us the moon, us regular Americans, yet when they get to Washington, they forget about the people they represent. So I agree with you with the Democratic Party, but let's hold both sides to that standard. I agree.
And
exactly.
I was going to say the last one that I could think did anything somewhat good would have been Kennedy, and then he got his head shot off when he wanted to get us out of war.
Yeah.
So it didn't.
That didn't last too long. So,
yeah. No. Nick, what part of Texas you're from? Still there, Nick?
On the line now.
This is Kenneth from Virginia, right?
No, we're talking. Okay.
Yeah.
Kenneth,
am I wrong?
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I'm from Virginia.
Okay. I'm sorry. What part of Virginia? We were just up in Richmond.
It's a small place there called Covington. It's right on the border of West Virginia.
Gotcha. Did you go to the Second Amendment rally in Richmond?
No, unfortunately, my ride got canceled. So yeah, I couldn't make it. But
okay. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in.
I was there.
And please go to everybody's channels and subscribe and pass the word on. And we thank you so much.
Well, like I said, I just got introduced there to American Joe, and from there I discovered the rest of you. So yes, I will definitely do that.
Very cool. Thank you, brother. Have a great night.
Thank
you too.
And now we have Nick from Texas. Nick, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you. Well, you know, one thing that pisses me off about these professors from the colleges is when, let's say, I went into the college, I enrolled and got all the payments dealt with and all that other crap. I get in there, sit down, and start to hear the professors rant, and then he mentions how white people were responsible for the terrorist attacks going on and all that other shit that's happening over there. And I'm like, what the fuck did you just say? And then it's like, God damn, man. And then
that's it.
You know, I keep
Texas?
Yeah, in Texas.
Or in general.
I heard that in Texas, and I was like shocked, man. I mean, I didn't really think that could ever happen here.
Well, see, I spent 8 years in Texas, and I've been watching what's going on in Texas over the past few years, and it's freaking breaking my heart, man. I love Texas, but you got all these freaking idiots fleeing out of California, illegals and all, migrating to Texas, and you see what's happening in Texas right now. And it's disgusting.
It's like they fuck up their own state, and then they come down to this state and start fucking this one up. And it's just like, God.
All they have to do is go to the big city, a couple of your big cities, and it's all it takes. That dictates the rest of the state.
I say we move them all. If you come in if you're coming in from California, you should have to go mandatory live in Brownsville.
Do some time.
Let's give the devil its due. Alinsky knew this isn't a Alinsky tactic. Like, the Democrats and the establishment were smart. If you know the history of Marxism and what was going on, Marxism was infiltrating our academic world in the 50s and 60s. And it wasn't until this guy Solzhenitsyn wrote this book, The Gulag Archipelago, that we started to see how horrible Marxism was. So all of the Marxists understood that they needed to repackage it, and they needed to take down America and the idea of liberty and freedom from within. So they spent 70 years preaching this garbage of America being horrible, white people evil, all of this cultural Marxist crap. And I spent 10 years in university. I have a master's degree in speech communication. It is brainwashing. You can't have a discussion with many of these professors. The amount of extremist leftist rhetoric that is now in academia is disgusting. It's something like 92% of administrators and professors now identify as far left. That's up from like 70% just 20 years ago. So, I mean, it's disgusting.
Yeah. Robert. Yeah, and I'll say that if you looked at the caucus, or I'm sorry, not the caucus, but Bernie Sanders' last rally, the whole start of it was just people raging against America and talking about how horrible America is. And I'll just say that stat that you're referencing, a lot of left wingers will say that, white men are the biggest terrorists in the country. Those stats are not very trustworthy. They count like prison violence, and they don't count gang violence as terrorism as far as like white gangs. And they also don't, that's probably not a per capita breakdown either. So those stats are really misleading to begin with.
Yeah. Can I tell Nick, though, before Nick goes, can I tell Nick, if you're still there and you can hear me, we need you to stay in the fight down there, brother. We need you to stay in the fight because we need to win back all of these states. And we don't want you guys to lose faith or hope down there. We just got to get you mobilized and shoulder to shoulder with other guys like you, other women like you, who are not women like you, but other women with the same mindset and
like-minded women
are wanting to take this country back, who are wanting to kick these Democrats out. So stay in the fight down there. Don't get frustrated. We're going to get this thing going, man.
Yes. But can I say one more thing?
Yes.
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. People, I've noticed, people go around and they say, when I approach one of them, they're like, "Oh, well, that's your opinion." I'm sorry, that's not an opinion. When you're supporting something like saying that white people are responsible for something, that's not an opinion. That's like a claim, you know? And it's just what I've noticed recently is the problem is that people use opinionated logic, which sounds retarded. How about we just think logic?
Well, ask yourself this. If you heard one person on this panel ever suggest judging someone based on their skin color, I haven't. And so what party, what group, what ideology are the racist? What group are saying, "Oh, because of your skin color, you've committed these sins"? That's not us. We judge people by their ideas, by their actions, not based on frivolous stuff by what color you are. It's nonsense and it's racism.
Yeah, imagine
Absolutely.
getting on national TV and complaining about white privilege. Just so we know, I have no problem with Jewish people. But imagine getting on national television and talking about Jewish privilege and all Jewish people have all this privilege. I mean, they would be obviously shouted down. It's no different when you're doing it to white people. And by the way, I just want to point out, you're seeing this term "person of color" used a lot to separate people. White people are people of color. Just so we're clear on that.
Yeah, I had a white crayon in the box when I was in school, so I know.
Well,
we're not
don't write
white.
good.
Well,
And then
Robert,
Nick, hey, thanks for calling in, brother. Appreciate it.
Want to talk about some bigotry there. We got white crayons with white paper. You can't even see that crayon when you write on the white paper. What's
You're
up
right.
with that?
I
Hey.
agree.
I don't like
Okay,
that.
next up we have BC5 from Ohio. Welcome to the panel.
Ohio, OH. All right, he's not a Buckeye though.
Ohio.
BC5, are you there?
Hello?
There it is.
Yes.
Hello.
Hey,
Who is this?
Hello. This is Milena from Massachusetts.
Okay, I don't know where that came from, but
Hello,
welcome.
Elena. How you doing?
Go ahead, Lena.
What would you like with that large pizza?
Elena,
Elena, we're waiting. Are you there?
Elena,
Can you hear
are
us?
you out there? Can you hear us?
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
here.
waiting, waiting. There we go.
I just wanted to tell Mr. Ducote he's doing a fantastic job, and his female empowerment speech was wonderful.
Amen.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And I absolutely love when you're very brash and harsh, because we feel exactly the same way that you do. We just don't have a large audience that you do. And don't worry about saying things that are harsh or brash or politically incorrect, because that's why we love you. And my father was in the military, and I really just think you're doing a fantastic job, and you're just blowing up, and it's really great to watch.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And please go over to these other wonderful Patriots channels and subscribe.
I am subscribed to American Joe. Yes, I am. So I will do it with everyone too.
While you're at it.
check out
What about
Drone Tech, too.
SJG perspective?
At least get to the Patriot Hour if you got time. The others can wait.
Yes.
I will subscribe to all of you. I definitely.
Thank
And,
you.
If you like brash, because if you like brash and people speaking their mind and saying stuff that gets them in trouble, SJG's the place for you.
Let me be
Oh, that's
brasher. If you open my
fantastic.
channel and you
It's,
subscribe
No,
now.
it's like
Do
when I hear all of you talk about Talib and all these other idiots that I personally think are being financed by, the global elite, I'm so proud of you, because if we don't talk about it and we don't call them out, then they just get more and more power. I mean, I know we're getting unpersoned and kicked off all these platforms, but I think it's worth just calling them out over and over again, because they're far more dangerous. I think they've been programmed to be what they are right now, and I don't even think they realize what they're being programmed to do. I don't think they realize how deep they're in. But I don't want to get too deep and get into trouble with you, so I'll shut up.
No, it's
Wow.
great.
All right.
They're kicking
Hey,
us off.
if
Great
they're
point.
deplatforming us, and censoring us,
We
and
all-
shadow banning us, it's because they're not very confident. All the actions they're taking show that they're not confident.
Yeah.
So
Right.
even though it looks gloomy sometimes, it may not be that bad for us.
I say the bigger thing I'm seeing is people at their own rallies are blowing up on them. I keep seeing videos of people blowing up on Biden, their own supporters. It's not like a Trump supporter going there undercover, because they don't do that. But it's their own people questioning them, and that's what it's going to take. I think if everyone kind of awakens to the mild truth of what's going on, that they won't stand for it. That's all. A lie can't work if everyone knows the truth. So
Exactly.
Right.
All right,
Well-
folks, we got time for one more quick call. And
Thank you
thank you
very
so
much.
much for calling in.
Have a good night.
Thanks so much.
All
Elizabeth.
righty. And
All
who
right,
do we have
let's
up
see.
next?
I think I got BC5 now. Let's see if he shows up. Are you there?
Is that God?
Thank you, operator.
Thank you, operator.
Is BC5? You guys have like 20 calls in the queue. Is BC5 there?
We heard him.
Come on, put a liberal on the air.
All right, I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know where BC5 is. That's the second time.
Come on, put a liberal up here.
Gave him the floor. Let's go
Well,
to
I want to
Earl.
say this real quick in a minute.
I'm with you, Joe. That'd be
Doug,
fun.
you said Trump. I'm big on words over actions speak louder than words, right? We've all heard that our whole lives. We've always heard politicians promise the world and never deliver. Kind of see Trump deliver on a lot of things. So there is a Twitter account. I don't know if you guys get into that, but there's a one ran by Satan, and they say they hand the account off to different elites at different times, different elites. But there's a one that says, "I miss you, Trump."
Hold on,
From
Mike.
2015.
The caller, you gotta mute the show in your background. It's coming through.
No, I keep muting him, and some people
Gotcha,
keep
gotcha.
trying to unmute themselves, but that's all right.
Well, no, the caller shouldn't have the show playing in the background while he's calling. That's all.
No, I know. I
Go ahead,
tell him.
Mike. Sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead,
Go
Mike.
ahead, Mike.
Oh, you got. Oh, I was just saying that there is a Satan Twitter account, and the word is that it's ran by different elites at different times, handed off for access. But there is one in 2015 that says, "Trump, we miss you." So I'm just saying, that's kind of weird.
Folks, do y'all want? It's
Right.
up to you guys. Do y'all want to go a little bit longer and take some more calls, or how many people need to run right now?
down for
Because
whatever.
we're past the hour. It's up to y'all.
I'm free.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Everybody good? Okay, we take some more calls. What do we have up next, Dustin?
All right, so I think this is BC5. This is your last chance here. Or I'm going to boot you because you haven't spoken. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, BC5. How can we help you? How's it going?
BC, how you doing?
You there?
Hello.
I'm on the call.
Wow,
Yes, you are.
you guys, I just got calls pouring in. Are you there, BC5? No. Okay, I'm going to boot you off here because it's bothering me.
I think he's got a bad connection.
Well, it was like I thought it was going to be enjoyable for you guys. I was texting Joe because it was somebody who was obviously using a voice modifier. So they were like, "This is BC5," and I said, "This is going to be hilarious." But oh well. So you guys want me to just blast through all these calls and have people just
let's head to the next one. Go ahead.
All right, 307-216. You there?
Yes, I am.
All right, you're on live with these guys.
Hello, guys. I finally got through, and now I forgot what I called for.
Well, it doesn't matter. You sound great, so it's good.
Hurry.
This is Tilly True on my little chat. And Tilly from Wyoming, Laramie, Wyoming. And I just wanted to give a shout out how much I enjoy your shows. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you for your service to our country. I just can't tell you enough. But I do want to say one thing about the illegals. Up here in Wyoming, you can't believe how bad it has become at certain times. In fact, my daughter, who lives up in Gillette, the northern part of the state, they were overcome with illegals at one time. In fact, we walked into the Walmart, and I looked around, and I said, "Are we in Mexico?" And they had in Wyoming. And the reason being is because we are such a small populated state. They go to ranches and they go to all these rural areas and they just kind of blend in. But when they took over Gillette, which is a mining oil field community, it just was crazy. But they came in and then they were gone within about 6 months. It was just crazy. But
Wow.
yeah. But I wanted to tell you that, and I appreciate your work on the border. I have a cousin that lives in Sweetwater, Texas, and he tells me horrendous stories, and I appreciate everything you guys are doing, and I watch you religiously. So thank you very much, all of you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for calling in. Have a blessed night.
All right, we got 631-680. Are you there?
Yeah.
You're on with the Patriot Super Panel.
Okay. How you doing, guys? I'll make it quick. Could you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we got
I just like with coronavirus, they're saying that everybody coming back from Wuhan, they're putting on a military base with a voluntary 3-day quarantine, but yet it's supposed to have read accounts. It's a week to 10 days or a 2-week incubation period. So what's that doing for us?
I agree 100%.
That's basically all I had to say. And I will say one other thing. And the school district where I am used to be like 20% black, 65, 70% white, and then there's, now it's like 70% Spanish after this border being open. And you talk about shutting it down all you want, but it ain't happening because the whole demographic of the area has changed, and it'll never unchange. So that's the 2 points if you want to talk about. But that quarantine thing was pretty crazy because you're really just releasing everybody into the country, and then they get sick a few days later, and you got a massive epidemic. Thanks, guys. I appreciate what you do. I enjoy listening to you. Keep doing. God bless.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. God bless.
904-762. You there?
Yeah, I'm there.
You're on with the Patriot Super Channel.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing good,
man. Good, thanks. What's your name, buddy?
Great, thanks.
Hey, this is Martin Berry from the swamps of North Florida.
Good to have you on, buddy.
Via West Virginia.
Excellent. Love Florida.
Hey guys, I wanted to touch on something. I get a lot of these. I get a lot of texts. Want to take surveys from President Trump, this, that, and the other, and always at the end of them, it wants you to, write down something that you'd want to pass on to President Trump. Now, I don't know whether or not that gets to him or not. I don't even know if it's legitimate. But when I came down here to Florida, I came down here because I've got a degree in education, and I came down here to teach school and coach football. And once I got down here, I got to, it didn't take very long to see how the liberal war machine, as I call them, has infiltrated the educational system. And I had a situation at the last school I was in where they had a mock election with Hillary Clinton and with Donald Trump, and they gave out all these ugly ass pictures of Hillary Clinton for the kids to walk around on popsicle sticks and all that mess. Yeah, and I had I was a PE teacher, and when you can't teach, you teach PE. That's what I always heard. So anyhow, my kids was coming into class, and they were talking to a lot of kids was coming in from a history class, and I was listening to them talk about whatever they was whatever subject they was doing at that time. And, I heard these kids saying, yeah, Abraham Lincoln was a Democrat. And I thought, what? So then I kept listening to them, and they said, yeah, John Wilkes Booth was a Republican. So I had to step in on this conversation. And I said, where are you all getting this? And they said, oh, this is the subject matter that we're into right now in history class. I said, Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. Oh, no, Coach, no, No, he's not a Republican. He was a Democrat. No, he was not. I said, John Wilkes Booth was a Democrat. I said, who started the Ku Klux Klan? Oh, those were Republicans. I said, who's teaching you this crap? Okay? Man, it wasn't 20 minutes after this class was over, I get this telephone call from the administration. I've got to come down to the office. I get down there, and they tell me that I'm overstepping my boundaries, that I need to stay in my field of expertise, and that their history classes, and for me to stay the hell out of it.
Wow.
And I'm thinking about that. This is what we're teaching these kids. And here's the thing. Here's the kicker. I was in a state-run private school, if there is such a thing. And, 90% of the student body was African American, and that's what they're indoctrinating these kids with. I mean, it just blowed my mind. And then, once Trump won, principal's walking down the hallway, and I asked her, I said, hey, listen, I said, this was on January 20th. I said, the president inauguration's today. I said, do you think maybe I can get a TV in here so we can watch? Oh, no, we're not going to do that. I said, well, why not? Oh, no, President Trump, he's too divisive. And you know what? This is not history. And I said, well, ma'am, I said, listen, I said, when Kennedy got shot, we all had to watch that. And I said, when Reagan got shot, we all had to watch that. I said, I'm just saying that was history. Oh, no, that's not history. It was 4 months later, I received notification that they no longer needed my services. So I was ousted because of that. And, if President Trump doesn't take care of the educational system, it doesn't matter to me personally, it's my opinion. It doesn't matter to me what else he does. Whatever promises he's made, because if he doesn't clear up the educational system, it's not going to matter. Because the best way to attack the flock is not to separate the flock, is not to attack the flock, it's to attack the shepherd. And this indoctrination by these liberals in these schools, on these kids, man, it's ridiculous. And you know what? Hell, man, I could go on for hours, but you guys got.
Martin, we got other callers. Listen,
you platform, brother.
I got you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, man, thank you guys. Hey, thank you guys for letting me on there, and you guys are doing a hell of a job.
Hey, you can get my email address off the website, douglasducote.com. Send me an email about that, which we just talked about, what that school did to you. I'd love to do a video and call their ass out.
Sure thing, man. Yeah, I'll be right on that.
All righty. Thank you so much, sir. And who do we have next?
Let's see here. We've got let's go to 812577. Are you there?
Yeah. Hello?
You're on with the Patriot Super Panel.
Well, hello guys. I'm from Indiana. My name's Pinky, and I'm a woman. Even though my voice sounds like a man, I'm a woman. Always have been. I get that a lot, that I'm a man, but I'm not. But anyways, I just want to say thank you to you guys for your service. And I also want to say this to all the other veterans of any war, because the other night, Mr. McCody, I haven't got to see your show yet about the suicides, but I had talked to a veteran a few months back, and he was so upset when he was finding out a lot of stuff that I don't want to mention on your show. You guys know what's going on behind the scenes, and it really, hurt him and depressed him, because he told me he felt like, all his friends that he had lost and friends that had suffered because of these no-nonsense wars, let's just call it that. And this is my message to all of you from a civilian. And yes, I was an Air Force wife overseas for 5 years, and I lived downtown, not on base. And this is how I feel, is you all don't feel like any lives lost or hurt or damaged in any ways. It was for nothing, because you know what you did? You bought us all a little more time. Do you understand? If we didn't have the time to get where we are now. Anyways, it was for nothing, because you know what you did? What's that? Bought us all a little more time. Did you hear that? I heard a feedback there, so I didn't know if you heard me. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
So I thank all of you, and I thank the police officers all over the country, because trust me, I wouldn't do that job for nothing. I mean, I don't know how y'all do it, but that, and as far as the school system, I have one question for Betsy DeVos. Where the hell are you? What are you doing? Because you know what? I'm tired of everybody talking. It's time to start doing something. And all you women up there, you Republican women are smart. You're sassy. I've seen some of you up there. Start standing up for our babies, okay? If we don't stand up for our babies and show these other, I won't mention, liberal, Democrat-thinking women, then we're lost, because it's women like you all, and I'm going to take credit for 9 generations and nothing but women, for making this country what it is. We have to help guide our men and stand behind our men and do this. It's not about sex. It's not about color. It's not about religion. It's about keeping this country. Because if we don't vote for Trump, when this November rolls around, you're going to find out what real communism and socialism is. And you're not going to like it. And that's all I got to say. And I pray to God, seriously, that when all this is said and done, that all this stuff is straightened out, because you know what? Sharia law ain't going to cut it with this little old lady. It ain't going to happen.
Yes, indeed.
So
We agree with
you guys
100%.
take care.
Thank you.
You guys
Thank you so
take care. And God bless y'all. And American Joe, good luck with your brother.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that.
Good night.
Good night. And who do we have next?
Oh my God, the call board is going crazy over here. Let's go to 253-243. Are you there?
Hey, I'm right here.
You're on with the Patriot Super Panel.
Yeah, I'm watching you guys, and I got to turn that off right now because I can't pay attention to two things. But I just saw on the internet here a little while ago today about the Second Amendment in Kentucky. And those Kentucky boys, they took their AR-15s and everything, body armor, went right on into the Capitol building, and those police officers right there at those metal detectors just guided them gentlemen right on around the metal detector, gave them a little sticker thing to put on their chest, and just, yes, sir, I'm with you and you're with me. You can go anywhere you want. And I'm watching these guys. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And if anybody gets on the internet and sees how Kentucky took over the Capitol building and proudly showed their arms, I was in tears, man. I mean, I got to wonder what's going on with Virginia. These guys got to lay down their arms to go into the Capitol building to hear somebody tell them a bunch of, yeah, I know it.
Yeah, I agree.
But,
and
hey,
Kentucky, they're doing
yeah,
a lot better job there, trying to figure this one out.
Yeah. Hey, I'm one of them veterans too. You know, I made my cruise up to Alaska when they was laying down that great big humongous cable all around the Aleutian chain, and then come to find out that the Russians are trying to cut it with the submarines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your service,
I'm going to
too.
go ahead and cut it short and leave it up to somebody else, because I've said what I needed to say. But hey, I pray for all of you guys, and I pray harder for everybody that's involved with this coronavirus. I mean, I'm waiting for the Lord to come back. Okay?
Man. I agree, brother. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you for your service.
All right, we're going to go to 513310. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Dustin. Hey, I don't have no voice box, brother.
Oh, there you are. There was somebody else. I'm sorry, that had a phone number extension like yours that kept popping in.
Yeah,
who's there?
I'm gonna. This is BC5, but I'm gonna have to call back, man. I'm out of time. You guys do this every Monday night, right?
Yeah. Every Monday night. Over channel.
Okay. Okay, I'll have to watch for you soon. Really considering starting my own YouTube channel, but the way they're getting to be is kind of crazy. There's some things going on in my life right now. I'm getting ready to sell out of Ohio and move down. I got a cabin down in Kentucky, and I'm going to be doing some videos and stuff, and I wanted to be able to one day get on the Ducote show. If I don't start my own first, there's a lot of truth bombs that need to be dropped right now. We're at that time, and hopefully I can catch up with these guys soon on the show, maybe on a Monday. You do this every Monday, correct? You're going to start on every Monday.
Next Monday will be on American Joe's show.
Oh, okay. Next time it's on American Joe. Wanted to say, hey, Joe, and Doug and Mike, man, I know you guys. I watch your show. The other three boys, I have to say I don't, but I'll actually give your shows a watch. In the meantime, I will be calling back in. I wanted to get some information in there to you. I had a little more time earlier, but I'm going to get out here and let somebody have a call. But you be ready to take mine next time, because I'm going to hit you with some truth bombs, people. And
all right, thank you, man.
All right, thank you.
God bless, brother.
God bless. All right, and next.
All right, let's go to 765282. Are you there?
Yes.
You got to turn that show off in the background.
Turn off all devices.
I don't have it on.
Oh, okay. Well, you're on with the Patriot Super Panel.
Okay. Well, I've got a question. I left Doug an email, and what I don't understand is, how are all these vets getting in on the Democrat side? Like Lindemann. I got with my son. My son was in the first Iraq war, and he's with the AMVETS here in Indiana. And I've told them that they need to get a hold of all the service-oriented vet organizations and stop these, I call them traitors, from getting in on the Democrat Party, because most of them want to have gun control. And that's about all I have to say. You guys just keep up a good job. Thank you.
Hey, can I
Thank
speak
you very
on this
much.
motion? Doug,
Yeah, go
can I
ahead.
speak-
Go ahead.
Yeah, Military Times did a polling on the military, and the military, we're about 800,000 strong or so, give or take. It is just like any other group of people. It is diverse in political beliefs, and there is a majority of registered voters in the military that are Republican, but it's not by a huge margin. We're talking around 56% to around 43% Democrat. So it is a split, but that's because, people join the military from all families all across this country. They're brought up by parents. They're brought up with, belief systems and values that are just as diverse as everyone in our military. So don't expect that the military is always going to be hard charging Republican conservative. That's not the case at all. There are plenty of servicemen and women who are Democrats, and in my estimation, completely wrong in their beliefs, but they have the right to be wrong in their beliefs. That's what's great about this country.
That's important. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a great answer, American Joe. And I just wanted to say real quick, our job should be not to denigrate those people, particularly service members, even if they disagree with us. We need to show that maybe they've been misinformed or our beliefs are better for the country as a whole. But notice that Trump, he'll go after Pelosi, he'll go after Schumer, etc. He does not go after Democratic voters. And that's a lesson we should learn. We want them to come to our side so we can say we be with the people you're voting with. We think the Democratic politicians are terrible, but we should be reaching out and having discussions with the voters.
Yeah, I agree 100%. But, we also have recently, I say recently, it's been going on for the past, ever since actually before Trump came into office. There are a few, and I'm not going to mention their names right now because I don't want people to go over to them, but I will be putting out another video on them very soon. As we get closer to 2020, but there are a few veteran organizations out there that have picked up a huge support by saying that they're for veterans running for Congress. And like they're bringing in millions in donations, and I'm saying millions of dollars to get vets into Congress. But if you go in and you read all about them and actually research into the group, you'll find out right off their Facebook, off their website, that they're only supporting Democrat veterans.
Yep. But
the average person doesn't know that, and they just skim over it and go, "Oh wow, yeah, I want a vet to be in my congressman," and they donate money to them. So you got to be careful about that. When you're donating to veterans organizations, find out exactly who they're supporting, and actually, if they have a 501c3, they shouldn't be supporting anyone. All right, exactly. But
yeah, so Doug, and votevets.org that you did a show on, that they're actually heavily funded by George Soros. That's out in the open. So
yeah, well, I wasn't going to mention them, but yeah, votevets.org is the who I was talking to mainly. It's an organization they are anti-Trump, they are anti-Republican, they are anti-conservative, and you don't know it unless you go looking deep into their website, and then you'll find it. It's all there. It's laid out. Just research it, folks, and you'll find out that they hate us, but yet they're putting vets.
I'm going to be doing a video on them. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Who do we have on next?
All right. Let's go to 956-638. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're on with the Patriot Super Panel.
Well, hell yeah. It's about fucking time.
What's your name?
Oh, I like you.
Sandra. I'm here on McAllen, Texas, here on the border. And right. I want to talk to Ducote.
Hey, I'm right here. Shoot the messenger.
What happened to the border, man? Why did you stop?
Oh, we haven't stopped.
Pussies from California tried it 4 years ago, and they stopped. I didn't think you'd stop.
We have not stopped. What we did was we had to take a temporary break and go cover the Virginia Second Amendment rally because we felt that it was more important to get on top of it.
Yes.
But we're back on the border in about 2 weeks.
Hey, they've all tried it. All of them have tried it. Nobody's gotten past El Paso. And you haven't gotten past El Paso.
I promise you, it's from Brownsville to San Diego. We will. We've actually got a bunch of stuff in the works as I speak.
Well, I've been sitting here on the border for 12 years. I've been waiting for somebody to get across there, and nobody's made it.
Okay, well, when I get there, come out and say hello.
Yeah, I'm here in Edinburgh.
Don't bring any Corona beer.
Unless you bring wine.
Hell no. Listen, Ducote, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. All right.
Ducote.
Complete your mission. Go across the whole border. Report it all. We need that. As a people, yes, we need that. Okay? Yes, everybody quits. The card pill, shuts them down. Threats. It's very dangerous. I know that. But you're tough. You can do it. Go all the way across.
We're not afraid of the cartel.
All the way up.
Yeah. Got that, Ducote? We got this. Trust me. You're going to see it. We've got it. It's all under control. We had to take a break to go cover that Second Amendment rally over in Richmond.
I know.
And before you go, let me just put this out there because I just spent the last 5 days working on this. You can go to bordercommand.com. All of the mini documentaries, interviews, all the interviews Doug has done, all the stuff we did with Joe in the beginning. I've been doing some interviews with people that have not aired. They're on that site to do recon for what we're about to do at the border. We're in constant communication with Tim Foley, who's in Arizona, with Arizona Border Recon. I was texting with him earlier today. He's sending us footage that he just shot of some cartel stuff. So go to bordercommand.com. You can see all the videos, all the things, and follow
I'm at McAllen.
in McAllen?
Between McAllen and El Paso.
Yeah, we were in McAllen.
If you can live through that, you got it made.
Yeah, we were in McAllen. That's where we met up with Chris Cabrera, the vice president of the Border Patrol Council.
Right. I saw you.
Yeah.
I saw you. But you got to get on past that, man. You got to get on toward El Paso. You got to get past the cartel.
Trust me.
Nobody's
it's
done
happening.
that.
We get, look, they haven't done it because they get what's happening to us right now. They get threats against their life, against their family members, even their pets. And I get that daily.
That's why we can't protest here. We can't protest
we're still moving
here.
Forward. Yeah.
Well, you know, get on that border and get it done.
We are doing that.
Cartel. You know, we are the cartel. You know that.
Yeah, because anybody that's allowing them to continue to do what they're doing is supporting them, and that's over half of them.
The border is Democrat. Our border is Democrat. We are the cartel.
Yep.
So you're going to be in dangerous territory, and nobody has ever.
All right. Well, we gotta wrap this up because some of the guys in the show are texting because they went a half hour long. Thank you. Go to bordercommand.com. Check out all the interviews. We've actually covered everything with everyone who crosses being cartel. We've got all this stuff from law enforcement intel. The interviews are there. The mini docs are there. More is coming. So just go check it out because what you're talking about, we've actually documented and put in video. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, I'll just tell you the call board is like filled up, and I know a lot of guys are texting. Everybody's got stuff to do. You guys went a half hour long, so I don't know. You want to wrap up the show, guys, and send this one into the history books.
Yes, indeed. And we're sorry we couldn't get to everybody tonight, but we went 30 minutes past what the show was supposed to be, so we could field all these calls. So thank you to everybody that called in. Listen. We do what we do for you guys, okay? We do it for American patriots. We actually even do it for liberals and Democrats if they will listen to the message. That's what inspires us to continue to put the message out there about what's happening in this country and what we're up against every single day. So thank you all for watching the show. Please go to everybody's page, subscribe, ring the bell, give them the same support you give for me. And next week, we're going to be on Monday night at American Joe, and then we'll rotate out. Guys, thank y'all so much for being here tonight. I think we're up to something that's really, really cool.
Yes. Yeah, thanks for having us. It's awesome.
See everyone next Monday.
All right,
you have an amazing, huge audience. Thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Very good. Most fun.
And I will close as I always do in my videos. Folks, if you believe in the power of prayer, please say a prayer for our men and women serving in the United States military, our veterans, our law enforcement officers, our first responders, their families, our angel families, blue and gold families, and our president and country. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, spending your time with this wonderful panel that I am blessed to be a part of. God bless you all.
I, Douglas Ducote, an American patriot by the grace of God, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from enemies foreign and especially